Okay. Okay, so we are going to be solving for today a very simple derivative of a function, right? So what we're going to be doing for today is going to be looking for the derivation of some simple function, right? So function like uh let's have one function over here where we have y. Let's say y is giving us sine inverse of 2x upon 1 plus x. So if s is given as this, how can we solve this particular question? Right. So quickly, that's one of the questions we are going to be solving. Right. So that's that about that. So simply, if you look at this, you can see we need to differentiate first what is here, and then we'll differentiate this guy. Now, for instance, I'll have to use the chain rule for this guy. So I will let u to be equal to this function over here, 2x upon 1 plus x. So therefore my y, I cannot represent it in terms of u, right? Fantastic. So what I have to do is for my u, if I want to differentiate my u, I have to now use the chain rule, right? Because we have u, the quotient rule. U is giving us 2x upon 1 plus x. So I'll have to apply chain rule. So this chain rule, this guy used to be our u, and this guy used to be our v. If we apply the chain rule, we'll now have v u prime minus u v prime. Then this is divided by what? By v squared. So I'm going to have v, the denominator, 1 plus x, u prime, differentiate this, multiply by 2, minus, I will now have 2x multiplied by b prime. Okay. The question here has squared here. So if we now do v prime, what are we going to get? V prime, okay, there's 2 here. We're also going to get 2x, right? So divided by 1 plus x squared, then everything here is squared. So can we simplify this? Yeah, we can simplify this. If you multiply this guy over here, we have 2 plus x squared, then we have minus this and this. We are going to get 4x squared, right? So this is divided by 1 plus x squared, everything squared. So this automatically is going to give us this one is 2x over here. So we have 2 plus 2 minus 4. This is minus 2x then squared, right? So this is upon 1 plus x squared, everything squared. Can we go further here? Can put 2 outside. So we have 1 minus x squared, right? We can push this a little bit further. Then 1 plus x. But this guy will just be squared. I don't think we can't reduce this thing any further. So therefore, for our dy dx, we're going to do dy upon du, right? So This is our y. If I want to differentiate this, if I differentiate this, I'm going to get 1 upon the square root of 1 minus u squared. But I can replace u, right? Because our u was equal to this guy over here. So I will now have 1 upon square root of what? 1. Then instead of u, I'm just going to write minus 2x upon 1 plus x squared. Right? So this is what I'm going to get. So if I get this, I'm going to now, the complete dy dx is going to be what? It's going to be this guy multiplied by this guy that we have over here. Right? So this one is dy du. If I substitute, then my dy dx upon dx, I'm going to multiply this and this. That's what chain rule says. So I'm going to have 1 upon square root of 1 minus 2x over 1 plus x squared. So this should be multiplying 2 into 1 minus x squared. Then everything here is going to be divided by 1 plus x squared, then all squared. So I'm left with simplifying this. This is my differentiation, but I will have to simplify this. So here we can do LCM over here, right? You can look for the LCM over here and try to solve everything. Okay, so if you look at it, our substitution here, I think this guy is supposed to be squared. Why? Because our u is squared and this is our u. So definitely this guy over here should be squared because u is squared, right? Good. So that being said, what can we do right now? We can just expand this. So let's try and do the expansion over here. So I have 1 upon square root of 1 minus, I can square this guy over here. I will have 4x squared. This should be upon squaring this guy. I'll have 1 plus x squared, everything squared, right? Then multiply by everything here, which is just 2 into 1 minus x squared divided by 1 plus x squared. Everything here is going to be squared. So what am I going to get? I think it's very simple from here. The LCM here is this square, is this that is squared over here. So I have 1 divided by square root of the LCM now should be what? 1 plus x squared, everything squared. So because this is divided by 1, right? So 1 into the LCM is everything here. Multiplied by 1 is the same thing. So I'm going to get 1 plus x squared all squared minus 4x squared. Let's extend this. Let's extend this. This is multiplying 2 into 1 minus x squared. We are not going to touch this for now. We are just going to finish our simplification and see if actually something factors out, right? So let's look at it. What can we do next? Okay, let's just open this, right? So let's open this up. Beside that, we can actually flip this to the other side. Can we do that? Yeah, because this square root is for everything, right? This square root is for everything. So I can take the square root of this guy separately and take the square root of this guy separately. Okay, let's just do it. This is what I mean. I have square root of what? 1 plus x squared all squared minus 4x squared, right? Multiplying 2 into 1 minus x squared upon 1 plus x squared all squared. So this other guy, I'm going to take the square root also. So that does not mean 1 plus x squared all squared. You see this denominator. So definitely this square root and this one can go, right? So here I have 1 divided by all this. So if I change this to multiplication, this will have to go up. This is what I mean. You have 1 divided by, let's use the variable like a divided by b. So this is the same thing as 1 divided by what? A multiplied by b. So if I'm changing it to multiplication, this will go up. So this will be b divided by a. That's simply what we're going to use here, right? That's simply what we're going to do there. So definitely then I will continue from here. That means I have 1 plus x squared. This should be divided by what? By what is here. So I have square root of what? 1 plus x all squared minus 4x squared. Simple. Then we have what will be here. We're now going to have 2 into 1 minus x squared. Then everything here is going to be divided by 1 plus x squared. Fantastic. So that's what we have. Can you see that this and this, they are common? This is 1, while this is 2. So I'll be left with just 1. If I take out this, I'll be left with 1. So my answer here, I'm going to get what? I'm going to get 2 into x minus 1, rather 1 minus x all squared, right? I'm going to get 1 minus x squared divided by, so everything here, this will be remaining 1. So I have 1 plus x squared, then square root of what? 1 plus x squared right? Then we have we now have minus 4x squared. This guy over here is squared. So what can we simplify this to? So we can expand this. We now have 2 over here. 1 minus x squared. Right? Good. So here we'll be left with 1 plus x squared. So if we open this guy, we can open up this guy, multiply it by itself. What I mean, we just multiply 1 plus x squared. We'll multiply it by itself. So doing that, we're going to get 1 afana plus x, the first one, the second one, this will be squared, plus another one. Then we have plus x raised to power of 4. Good. That's what we're going to get in the denominator. As simple as that. So we'll now add the middle term up, which is x squared and s squared. We can add them up. We can add these two up. So if we do that correctly, we're going to get 2 into 1 minus x squared. This should be upon. We now have 1 plus x squared. But for this guy, we add them up, we'll have what are we going to get? We have our minus 4 x squared over here. So here we're going to get something like this. We're going to get something like 1, right? 1 plus 2x squared plus x is to the power 4 minus 4x squared. So we have 2 into 1 minus x squared. This should be divided by what? We have 1 plus x squared. So we can work with something in the radical. I told you we have 1, then this guy and this guy will be minus 2x squared, because you have minus 4 here and then you have plus 2 here, right? So you now have plus x raised to the power 4 over here, right? So, and this is very, very simple. How do I mean? This is very, very simple because we can just factorize this guy. We can factorize this over here, right? We can do that, like I said. So if we factorize this guy over here, we're going to get 2 into 1 minus x squared, then divided by, we have 1 plus x squared. So this guy will be square root of, we now have 1 minus x squared, so all squared. Because if you multiply this together, you're going to get this. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. 1 multiplied by minus x squared is 1 minus x squared. If you do it again, you get minus x squared. Then if you do minus x squared multiplied by the next, that's what I mean here. You are going to do 1 minus x squared multiplied by 1 minus x squared, right? So similarly, this can cancel out. So you'll be left with 2 into 1 minus x squared divided by 1 plus x squared. Then this is multiplying 1 minus x squared. Can you see that? Because this guy have cancelled out. So similarly, this and this are common, so they can cancel out. So I'll be left with 2 divided by 1 plus x squared. Now this becomes the solution to everything we have been doing. Good. So I choose this because you may just see a question like this and think, oh, it's easy, we can do it, we can solve this. But you have to take the nitty-gritties. You have to know every differentiation. You take the step. You see, we started with quotient rule. Over here, we started with chain rule. Over here, we applied the quotient rule. And over here, we are now apply all the breakdown. You can see them. So you can watch this video and then wait for the next video that I'm going to upload, right? So thank you and see you in the next live session.